Let me ask you something directly, no sugarcoating. Have you ever felt like you did everything right with a man, only to watch him end up with someone else? That deep sting of emotional injustice where following the rules got you nowhere. You showed up, gave him your attention, your time. You listened, you were patient, supportive. And still, he chose someone who didn't seem to care nearly as much. It's painful, isn't it? But take a moment. It's not that something's broken in you. Actually, there's just something you were never taught. But it's not your fault. From a young age, many of us were conditioned to believe a lie that being sweet, quiet, and never stirring the waters was the way to make a man fall hard. And so countless women end up trapped playing the perfect girl role while watching him fall for someone who, on the surface, doesn't make any sense. Here's the truth. Attraction rarely follows logic. As Carl Jung pointed out, most of what drives our choices and desires isn't reason, it's the unconscious. That's where the real emotional charge lives. He famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." When it comes to attraction, that's exactly what's happening. What I'm about to share might shift the way you connect with men completely. There are two words, when spoken with the right energy and confidence, that can completely alter how a man perceives you. This isn't about tricks or games. It's about psychology tapping into how male desire functions at a deeper, instinctive level beyond logic, beyond explanation. And here's the beauty. You don't need to look like a model. You don't need to be wealthy or live a curated life. You simply need to understand how attraction works at the subconscious level. And if this is already making things click for you, go ahead and subscribe, because we're not here to sell illusions. We're here to give you powerful tools, grounded in truth, to help you reshape your love life for real. Let's get into it. The biggest myth you've probably been sold is that to capture a man's heart, you must be the most reasonable choice, always kind, always available, never a challenge. But that logic, while comforting, often produces the opposite effect: indifference. Maybe you've seen her, or maybe you've been her, the woman who's constantly supportive, sending thoughtful messages, always showing she cares. And still, he walks away. Why? Because desire isn't born from predictability. It's born from intrigue. Jung once said, the soul needs tension to grow. And when it comes to attraction, that emotional tension, that spark, is everything. When a woman tries to be flawlessly perfect, she often becomes predictable, and predictability rarely leads to passion. Picture this. You're starving. Before you sit, two plates. One is a safe, clean, wholesome salad. The other a rich, savory burger that overwhelms your senses. Sure, you know which is technically the healthier option, but which one makes your mouth water? This isn't about choosing to be reckless. It's about being the one who can't be ignored, the one who sparks something deeper in him, who leaves a trace. And no, this isn't an invitation to play games or be difficult. It's an invitation to stop fading into the background. Too many women avoid discomfort. They steer clear of rejection. They suppress their wants, soften their voice, and play it safe. And that's how they become invisible. While you hesitate, wondering if now's the right time to say how you feel, another woman is already igniting something in him. A wave of emotions he might not understand, but can't look away from. That's when things start to shift. Desire isn't logical, it's emotional. It doesn't come from a checklist. It comes from a feeling, from presence. It's not about how many nice things you've done, it's about how he feels when he's around you. And no, this doesn't mean you need to be harsh or controlling to be seen. It's not about force. It's about truth, owning what you feel, owning what you want, speaking from that space with honesty and confidence. That's what makes the difference. That's the real divide between the woman who draws men in and the one they only see as a supportive friend. If you're tired of being the woman who should be loved but somehow never is, then here's the truth you need. A woman who doesn't speak her truth doesn't exist in his emotional world. Men aren't pulled toward those who make life easy. They're moved by the ones who stir their spirit, who bring unpredictability, who challenge the emotional status quo. And that doesn't come from performing perfection. It comes from being grounded in your truth, bold, direct, and real. Which brings us to two small words that, when said from genuine confidence, can completely shift the way a man views you. Ready for them? Because they could change your whole approach to connection. Here's the reality. Men don't fall hardest for the woman who tries to please them the most. They fall for the one who makes them feel the most. It's not about trying to be the most entertaining person in the room. It's about creating a moment, one that shakes him, one that breaks through the noise. The issue is that many women treat attraction like it's a checklist. They think, if I do everything right, be kind, available, thoughtful, then he should choose me. But this isn't a job interview, and his desire isn't measured by your emotional resume. That's just not how chemistry operates. Carl Jung famously pointed out that our choices are driven more by what we feel than by what we think. Nowhere is that more accurate than in romantic attraction. We don't fall with our minds, we fall with our hearts and instincts. Desire isn't logical, it's spontaneous. And this goes for men too. They don't fall for the woman who makes the most sense on paper. They fall for the one who stirs something alive inside them. Too often, women get stuck in the trap of convincing when what actually matters is making him feel. They try to earn his attention through effort, generosity, time, like they're collecting enough emotional credit to cash in on a relationship. But desire doesn't work like a loyalty program. It's not something you accumulate. Here's the painful truth. Fear of rejection keeps many women frozen. So scared of saying the wrong thing, they say nothing. They fade into the background. Let me put this simply in the realm of attraction. Hesitation is the death of momentum. While you're debating whether it's the right time to open up, another woman is already triggering feelings in him that you're still trying to suppress. So what actually creates deep, genuine attraction? Not gifts, not flawless patience. True attraction comes from emotional presence, from self-assurance and clarity. Men gravitate toward women who are clear about what they want and are unafraid to speak it. When a woman confidently says, "This is what I want," she exudes a magnetic presence. But when she says, "I don't know, whatever works for you," she sends signals of uncertainty. And uncertainty, as Jung explored, activates the unconscious defense mechanisms that push people away. He described this in terms of the shadow, the hidden parts of ourselves we avoid facing. Often, insecurity is the shadow in disguise, the fear of rejection, abandonment, or not being good enough. But when a woman embraces her desires and expresses them from a centered place, her energy changes, and so does the way she's seen. Here's a clear example. Two women want to invite a man out. One says, "Do you want to hang out sometime? No pressure, only if you're free." The other says, "I want to see you Friday. Would that work for you?" Feel the difference? One is tentative, almost apologetic. The other is straightforward and sure. It's not demanding, it's honest. And that honesty is what draws people in. Men aren't seeking someone who dominates, but they are seeking someone who's sure of herself. They're not inspired by someone who holds back to be liked. They're attracted to women who step forward with purpose, women who lead with desire, clarity, and bold presence, women who don't ask for permission to want. What men actually respond to, and here's where two simple words can completely shift your love life, isn't magic. It's not a trick. But when used with the right presence, these words dramatically change the way a man experiences you. Ready to hear them? Really ready? Because this might just be the shift you've been needing. The two words are, "I want." Straightforward, bold, but when spoken from genuine intention, they carry undeniable power. Don't let their simplicity fool you. These words are packed with psychological impact. Consider the difference between, "Well, if you're up for it, maybe we could hang out sometime," versus, "I want to see you this Saturday." Feel that shift. The first feels hesitant, uncertain, like you're seeking approval. The second is self-assured, clear, and real, and that is what catches attention. Here's what's fascinating. When you say "I want," no hesitation, no softening it, no apology, it triggers something in his subconscious. Why? Because most men don't encounter women who communicate this way. They're used to vague hints, careful suggestions. But when you step into emotional leadership and say what you want, you're not controlling, you're guiding. And that is true power, emotional intelligence in motion. But here's a warning. Don't confuse this with issuing commands. It's not about telling someone what to do. It's about sharing your direction with presence. Saying, "I want to share this with you," builds connection. Saying, "I want you to do this," feels like pressure. One invites, the other pushes away. It all comes down to the emotional tone behind your words. If you've ever asked yourself why another woman who seems to be doing less ends up with the man you want, now it's clear. It's not about her being better. It's that she's not afraid to own her desires and to express them freely. Now that you see the truth, you're ready to stop playing by the old rules and start using the ones that actually work. Ever wondered how women with no supermodel looks, no big bank account, no designer lifestyle still attract men others call out of their league? Here's the secret. They say what they want, with boldness, with clarity. No coded signals, no emotional guessing games. So here's your mission. Run a simple experiment. The next time you want to propose something to a man, just say, "I want." Drop the hesitations, no more. If you feel like it, if it's okay, or whatever works for you, state what you want directly. Then watch what happens. Because here's the core truth. When a woman speaks her desires without fearing judgment, her presence becomes irresistible. And this principle doesn't stop at love. Think about your career. There's a world of difference between saying, "If you believe I deserve it, I'd love a raise," versus saying, "I want a raise, I've proven my value." One communicates uncertainty, the other radiates strength. Same goes for your social life. Instead of saying, "Whatever you all feel like doing is fine," say, "I want to do this today." You'll be surprised by how people respond, because the way we speak influences how others see us, and more importantly, how we see ourselves. Once you start speaking with certainty, your reality begins to shift, and yes, that includes your romantic life. So ask yourself honestly, do you want to remain the woman who waits quietly, who bends to please others, who stays silent and hopes things work out? Or do you want to be the woman who takes the lead, who lights up desire, who walks with confidence? If you're choosing the second, you're moving in the right direction. And here's where it gets vital, knowing how to use these two words the right way. Because done wrong, "I want," can sound needy or pushy, but done right, it's powerful and unforgettable. Yes, there's an art to saying, "I want," and plenty of ways to dilute its power. For instance, saying it with nervous energy, lowered eyes, and slouched shoulders sends a message that contradicts your words. In emotional expression, body language always speaks louder. If your posture says, "I don't really believe this," then neither will they. Carl Jung talked about the need to integrate our conscious and unconscious to align what we feel with what we express. That's exactly what this is about, syncing your internal truth with your outward voice. The strength behind "I want" isn't about barking orders or being controlling. It's about calm certainty, a steady tone, direct eye contact, a posture that says, "I believe in what I say." You don't need to be commanding, you just need to be anchored in your value. And remember, this isn't about making demands. It's about extending genuine invitations from a confident place. There's a massive contrast between saying, "I want to see you this Saturday," and "I want you to do this for me." One is warm and inviting, the other feels like pressure, and pressure repels. Attraction, on the other hand, blossoms in freedom. But don't stop at words. Action matters just as much. If you say, "I want to take you to dinner," and then wait for him to arrange everything, your intention loses its edge. Men are captivated by women who not only express what they want, but actively move toward it, who shift energy instead of waiting on it. And this doesn't only apply to romance. It shapes every area of your life, from your job, to your family, to your personal ambitions. When you speak from a place of certainty, you don't just communicate a desire, you awaken something primal in others. Respect, curiosity, and yes, attraction. Try this experiment next time you want to ask a man out. Don't seek permission to want him. Instead, say clearly, "I want to see you this Saturday." Then hold his gaze, breathe, trust in your worth. Because a woman who doesn't beg, doesn't demand attention, and doesn't hide cannot be ignored. Understanding something intellectually won't change your life. What truly transforms is putting that knowledge into action. If you watch this and think, "That sounds amazing," but never apply it, then it remains just a nice idea, never real. Most women grasp the concept, they know they need more clarity in how they speak. Yet when it's time to act, they stall. That freeze response stems from fear. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment. It's that inner voice Jung called the shadow, the part of us that wants to shield, but often sabotages. The way to quiet that voice isn't more analysis. It's not more thinking, it's action. You push past fear by doing what you're afraid to do. So here's a simple daily practice. Over the next 7 days, say, "I want," at least 5 times a day in different areas of your life, and not just love. The aim is to train your mind and body to speak with clarity and intention, aligning what you feel with what you express. When a waiter asks your order at a restaurant, don't say, "I don't know, what do you recommend?" Say confidently, "I want this." When your friends can't choose an activity, don't say, "I'm good with anything." Say, "I want to do this." And yes, with that man you're interested in. Stop using vague language or passive tones. State what you truly want, clearly, directly, and without apology. You may feel awkward at first, that's normal. That discomfort is exactly where growth begins. Your mind will try to protect you. It might whisper that you're too forward or coming across as arrogant. What's really happening is that you're dismantling years of programming to wait, to stay silent, to always go along. This initial discomfort is a signal. You're entering new emotional terrain. It's like returning to the gym after months away. Your muscles ache at first, but with consistency they grow. The same is true for your inner voice and your mode of expression. With time, your confidence becomes natural, something solid and grounded. After just a week of practicing this, you'll begin to notice small yet meaningful shifts in how people react to you. Your friends may suddenly take your words more seriously. At work, a quiet sense of newfound respect may start coming your way. And with men especially, you'll feel a difference in how they respond to your presence. Not because you uttered some magic phrase, but because you stopped moving from fear and started moving from inner certainty. You'll no longer be the woman waiting to be picked. You'll become the one who decides. You won't crave validation anymore because you'll be grounded in your own truth. Let's be clear though, this isn't about manipulating anyone. It's not a scheme to sway emotions or a persona you adopt just to be noticed. This is about returning to yourself, to your voice, to your desires, to the parts of you that were quieted in the name of being polite or agreeable. It's about evolving into the version of yourself who knows exactly what she wants and dares to express it unapologetically and without fear. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, do this with intention. Be aware of your feelings. Track how your energy shifts. Observe how others respond to you. And if, after 7 days, nothing has changed, you're free to revert to the old way. But if you notice even a small shift, you'll understand that this was never just good advice. It was the key you'd been missing all along, a key to unlocking a new chapter of your life. Let's end on this note. True confidence is what ignites desire. When you fully recognize your value and express it with calm clarity, you awaken something deep and instinctive in others: admiration, curiosity, and yes, attraction. So once more, give it a go. The next time you want to invite a man out, don't seek approval to want him. Just say it with clarity, with ease, and own that moment.